Now it's time. Time to get your mind moving, reach for your dreams, and find happiness and success in your life. Welcome to The Mindset Man. And here is your host, the Mindset Man himself, Todd Radis.
Welcome to The Mindset Man. We have an amazing woman with us today. Her name is Cynthia Murphy. She has the Assuaged app. She's a health expert, and this woman who has been through trials that most of you would avoid and just run from, and she has conquered them, and she is amazing, and she never stops going. I personally don't know anybody who's moving quite as much as Cynthia. So Cynthia, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Todd.
Oh, I definitely have to have you on the show. So, you know, the premise of the show is mindset. And I'm a mindset coach, and that's kind of a term you don't hear a lot. You usually hear life coach or business coach, but not mindset. But I think mindset is at the root of everything that we achieve or do in our lives. And it's the most important aspect. So while I do business training and so on, it all bases around mindset. I know you have a wonderful mindset, but I want to get your view on what it takes to get through some of these adversities and still move forward and reach for your goals.
Well, thank you for having me again. One of the things is being born with a craniofacial condition, Treacher-Collins syndrome, had over 16 plastic surgeries. I was once on 14 daily prescription drugs. And so my mindset was very poor, especially given the foods that I was eating. I had no concept of health. I kind of, ate whatever I could find in terms of just going to the grocery store and not thinking of fruits or vegetables. Most of us are kind of like that, especially when we're on the go and we're working. I was going to full-time school and had a full-time career. So even though I was being successful, and getting my studies done, my mindset was still very poor. I didn't feel good about myself. I was drowning in insecurities. Our marriage, I think we've been married for 13 years almost, but 10 years of those 13 were very difficult because my husband and I, he has a disability as well. He was in the Marine Corps and got a brain injury while he was on duty. So both of us have dealt with major insecurities and lacks in our mindset. And I think a core component of where that started for me was weaning off the prescription drugs, eliminating those out of my life, as well as my husband, and selecting nourishing foods, organics, fruits, vegetables, nothing that comes from a box. Anything that comes from a box that's processed has all these chemical compounds. So that really opened the door for me to be able to start working on my mindset and see things clear.
Right. So the first step was to just start getting healthy and try to get as many of those prescription drugs as you could out of your life and out of your body.
Oh, yes, 100%.
Okay, so I can understand that because I don't take prescription drugs unless I absolutely have to. And even then, I take them usually for about a third of the time they tell you to because I just don't want them in me. I don't feel good about it. I hate painkillers. I don't like anything that numbs me. And that's frightening to a lot of people. And fear is definitely the root of insecurities. So when you're looking at your own fears and you actually begin to admit you have them, you can start battling some of those insecurities. Would you agree with that?
Oh, yes, 100%. I mean, I was in complete denial, and being on all the bad foods and prescription drugs didn't help. But either way, even when I started getting clean off of that, I still had to figure out how to get this stabilized and think more positively, affirmations, so many things that you could do to actually improve your mindset. We all have a different balance, but I'm lucky to have found mine.
Well, good. I'm glad you found yours. Well, there's always challenges. Even the best of us still fall back on our associations and our coaches. I have my own coach. I'll probably always have at least a mentor there to give me a hand now, because there's times we can't see the forest for the trees because it's in our heads. And that's where, people like me coaching comes in. Now I met you at the City Gala event this past summer here in New York City, but you're actually out in California, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a long ways from where I'm at. I'm broadcasting on the East Coast over here. So now I know Thane, and I've had some conversations with him, and I had similar problems after my time in the service. So it's good to see you two really out moving. Uh, Now, you've been to some events here recently, and you're probably around a lot of people who are, practice the philosophies of success and have a great mindset. Why don't you tell me about what you've been up to recently?
Well, during all of our travels to grow our business Assuaged, we've met a lot of incredibly successful people that I know if I was in my prior mindset wouldn't have given me the time of day, just because I'm not at the level where they can help me. You have to help yourself. I had to work through all those mindset issues and the drugs and the foods. I had to get all that clear before I could get in front of people that would value what I have to say. Not that you're not valuable, but you have to put a value on the things that you're putting in your body and the thoughts that you're putting in your mind.
I'm very curious because a lot of people might not relate food to the way they think.
Yep.
And there's definitely, a junction there. The types of food you eat does affect the way you think and the clarity that you have in your life. Now you're really big into holistics and healthy foods. And if anybody can attest to how helpful they are, it's you.
And it's really just like it doesn't happen overnight. We started, going towards healthier foods and then getting into the organics because, especially with all the pesticides and the chemical compounds, it really does matter what foods you select. And we actually live and reside in the region of a blue zone. There's only 5 blue zones in the world. And there's only 1 in the United States, and that's in Loma Linda, California, where people live to be over 100 years old. Now, why is that? That's because they're consuming majority plant-based varieties, legumes, you have your nuts, you have your seeds, you have your superfoods, you have your herbs. I mean, it's just allowing your body to heal at a cellular level and also being patient with this. There's just so many quick fixes out there. There's so many electronic devices saying that they have a means of cure, prescription drugs. All this stuff is not what really cures you. You cure you in what you put in your body. You have to treat your body like a temple, because if you're not mindful of that, you're not going to feel good physically or mentally.
Right. I agree 100%. Well, when you first met me, I'm definitely not as strict on my diet as you are, but also I'm very cautious about what I eat. It's been about 5 years since I've had corn syrup, unless it's snuck into something that I'm unaware of while I'm out. I don't purposefully buy it. I don't eat processed sugar except at a very small level. I probably consume in a year what the average American consumes in 2 days in processed sugars. And to me, that's made a big difference because my diabetes is pretty much cured. I'm off the metformin now. My sugar stays below pre-diabetic levels. So I will definitely attest that food is definitely part of your well-being. Now, I also know that you're a very spiritual person. And one of the things to having a proper view and mindset towards life and happiness and success, in my opinion, is to be spiritually fulfilled.
Yeah.
And that lacks for a lot of people. What do you practice to stay spiritually fulfilled in your life?
Well, growing up, I went to church a lot in Christianity, so it was our primary religion. I came from a very abusive household, so I was pretty much brought into that environment by some close friends that had babysat me. And so that really gave me a foundation to start spirituality. I connected a lot with nature. I went out to the woods, played, we didn't have computers, cell phones really during those times. And so I went to a Christian camp every summer that I could. I pushed my mom to get me that scholarship so I can go to that camp with all these amazing Christian people. So that paved the way to spirituality for me. And then I just kind of, I would say after my mother left me when I was 16 with my sex offender stepfather, I got very angry and bitter, and I wanted nothing to do with God or anything. I just completely gave up on that portion of it, and I just focused on, I'm going to be successful. I'm not going to let my disability define me. I don't want to involve myself with other people with disabilities, because I'm going to show all of them how wonderful I could be and how successful I could become without, all the hate and everything I've gotten growing up was very hard on me. So it made me very angry and bitter. And that kind of continued with me throughout our marriage. I had complete breakdowns during my marriage with Thane. And I would say 3 years ago, we just, because we live in nature, we were just awoken to the sounds and vibrations of living in nature, the pine cones falling, the birds, never taking notice of the fact that there's something greater in the universe and in our, social environment outside of our doors, waiting for us to just be vulnerable and honest with everything about our lives, with ourselves, with our friends, our family, the people you meet. You just wear your story proudly and be who you are. And then that allows you to start gaining some kind of spirituality, like you get this love in your heart.
Right.
Because you fully accepted yourself, you fully love yourself. You're not going to be bound by the craziness and the things that you went through in your childhood. You're just going to accept it and move on from it. And that really opened the doors for me. And, really we're into everything. We're into mantras, Buddhism, Hare Krishna, Christianity.
Well, see,
so many different.
I believe that way, that there's a little bit in everything for everyone. And I'd also like to discuss with you your business.
Yes.
You have an app out, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you do some multi-level marketing?
Well, we have Purium, which is affiliate marketing.
Okay, Phil. Yeah, affiliate marketing's good too. So you've got that going. But tell me about this app.
Assuaged. So we offer organic products with recommendations. We have MapQuest. Basically, we've taken all the research that we've done in our studies. Thane will have his bachelor's in nutrition at the end of this month, and I'm on my second master's in public health. So we've done a lot of research in terms of what is healthy, what is not, what does your body really need to start gaining that balance. Because like you said, people living in the city life, they have more than just the EMF and the noise that's going on. They have contaminants in the water. There's sewage, there's chlorine, there's fluoride. There's so many contaminants in the public water supply that is just hampering their physical illness. And then you have just all the gases that are being emitted from transportation. So you have pollution all around you down at ground level. So
well, I know that I saw a study one time that they could tell a non-smoker from the city and a non-smoker from the country by how much garbage was in their lungs. Because people in the city they're the filters basically of those toxins that are in the air. And, we've got some trees doing some work, but 5,000 trees and 3 million people, the people are the primary filter. And then your body has to process that junk out. So your what's the name of your marketing group again, or your affiliate marketing that you're doing?
That's Purium, and those
Purium
foods that we put in our we got so many varieties of superfood drinks. We have herbal supplements, and they're all organic, non-GMO certified. And that we've tied into Assuaged, which is, a one-sentence line of what Assuaged is: a digital solution that's curatively addressing the global burden of disease.
Oh, nice. I never knew that. I've known you for quite a while now, and I did not know that breakdown of Assuaged. I just thought it was a cool name. But it's a great idea, and I do think that there is a public health crisis, but in my opinion, from my perspective, is we have to start with how people think about it and believe about it before we can attack the actual problem through education. Because if somebody isn't going to give you the time of day, then you're not going to be able to get through to them if they're not going to listen to you. So that's why I think it was important to bring someone like you on, because you've had some serious challenges. I mean, we all face challenges, but yours are a level above most other people's. And here you are, you're working on your second master's, and congratulations. I know that there's times we've had a call and you said, I've got to study tonight, or I'll get you in between studying. I've got, and Thane is also working on his master's too, correct? He's working on his bachelor's right now.
So he'll have that very soon here, and he'll be a certified nutritionist.
Awesome. So between the two of you, if people get to know you, they're gonna know how to be healthy and eat right.
Yeah, I mean, basically, we've just done the research for you, and we've experimented for you too.
You play guinea pig? I don't know if this product works or not. We'll find out. So what's next for you? Where are you going from here?
Well, from here, we're just building on our platform, moving into phase 2 to provide a platform for wellness providers to help people accomplish health. I mean, really right now we have 2 different types of people out there, and they either have an external locus of focus or an internal locus of focus, of control, locus of control. And an external locus of control, that's where someone believes they need to go see a doctor. They need to get healed by what a doctor will tell them, what will heal them. Internal locus of control is where you believe you have the power to heal yourself. So what we're kind of doing, we're serving both markets by using certain techniques for those different personality subtypes.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, because I'm definitely believing the internal. I haven't had a doctor help me faster than I've been able to help myself, except, like I said, when it's an injury, it's something that you need fixed. Then the doctors are great, and Western medicine's definitely the best. But when it comes to long-term preventative health, I think we're really lacking in the major medical industries. We could get into another hour discussion simply on what we need to do to change that, but that's not our point here today. So in closing, what would be, remember, you're on the mindset, man. What would be the first mindset change you'd recommend to somebody who's facing challenges and they're angry and they want to change who they are, but they just don't see a way out? What would you say the first thing they should start working on is?
Health, for sure. Just
Health.
Getting your body clean, then you're able to be clear and have that consciousness. Like I'll give you an example in closing here too. One of my really good friends, Dr. Justine Lee at UCLA, she's a craniofacial doctor, and she even told me, you were pretty manic. I was a chemical induced robot before. I was crazy, but she still believed in me and worked with me. And now seeing me 2 years, we just had lunch 2 months ago. And she's like, Cynthia, I mean, I'm going to have to look into this organic plant-based diet that you're doing, because you are just completely transformed. Like, how did you do it? Well, that's how I did it.
All right. So you think you got to get the mind clear through good diet to help you get your mind clear so you can go after the other things that you want in your life.
Yeah, well, the word diet has the word die, so we really don't use the word diet too much, but the word health contains the word heal. That's what you really want to do. You want to heal yourself from the inside out, and it takes time and patience to do that. There's no quick fix when it comes to health, so just a gradual change, and you will be transformed, and your mindset will be so much better, I promise.
Well, that's fantastic. So, why don't you give me the? Do you have is your app available in the Google App Store?
Yes, our app is available for download on Apple iOS, and we have a website. We're moving into Android soon, and that's Assuaged.com. And Assuaged means to satisfy. So, and that's what we're all about. We're about satisfying and helping people change to develop healthy behavioral habits.
Awesome. Well, I thank you so much for coming on today and taking the time out to come here and be with me early in the show. So as I told Eric earlier, once we get a little more of an audience going, your show will go into the rock list, which is the recycled content. So we can get your name out there again more than once. This show will be available on YouTube. It's going to be right here on inspirednewsradio.com. And you can also go to toddradis.com to look up the shows. Please visit Cynthia's site. And thank you, Cynthia, for coming on. I really appreciate your time today.
Thank you for having me, Todd. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this broadcast of The Mindset Man. We greatly appreciate you have taken the time to be with us today. You will be what you believe you will be. You will find the show at toddradis.com or inspirednewsradio.com. Have a great day, and we will see you soon.